I I wanted to make a quick video about Social Security and some of the different factors you want to consider before claiming. Claiming too early or too late has a huge impact on your long-term income from Social Security, how much you're going to receive or how much your spouse is going to receive. So I do want to get into some factors to consider. First, I think this was interesting. This is from Nationwide's Retirement Institute annual consumer survey on Social Security. They found that future retirees believe they're eligible for full benefits at age 63. It's actually, for most people at this point, it's going to be age 67. For some people, it's still 66 and 10 months, but anyone born after 1960, it will be age 67 onward, at least for now. It could change. But other thing is less than 40% of people actually know what full retirement age is. And 40% of people are unsure of how much their monthly Social Security benefit will be. So I know we used to get Social Security statements mailed to us every year or so. That was one of the cost savings measures that Social Security did, was they stopped mailing those. So I highly recommend people log into the Social Security website, and you can view your earnings history. First, you want to make sure that it's accurate and correct, but then also you can see what your future benefits are going to end up being. So I think it's a great way to kind of dial that in and see what to expect in the future. Another thing is people within 10 years of retirement actually overestimate their monthly benefit by almost 30%. So that's a huge thing. Within 10 years of retirement, you're pretty close to the finish line. You want to make sure you get these numbers dialed in and you know what to expect in the future. The average retired family receives 38% of their income from Social Security. So that's a big piece. Again, it's a very important decision. You don't want to take it lightly. The other factor here is Social Security will last forever. It's backed by the government. But the best thing about it is it has this COLA adjustment, this cost of living adjustment. Many people that have pensions, most pensions have no COLA, and that's even if you're lucky enough to have a pension. Social Security has a COLA that's tied to CPI data, which is the government's inflation measure. And it's showing here, I think between 22 and 2023, they made a jump of 8.7%, again, because of this being tied to CPI data. Now, if you claim early, then you're going to get a lower benefit, and that lower benefit will be indexed for inflation. So if you can wait and get the higher payout, now you get a higher payout compounding at a higher dollar figure. Like I said, when can you claim? Most people, 6 and 10 months or 67 moving forward, certainly subject to change. If you do start early, there's a reduction. On top of that, if you're 62 and you're working, everything over a certain threshold gets penalized around 50%. So if you are working and under your full retirement age, you probably don't want to start your benefit if you can help it, again, to avoid that penalty. The other thing to note here is each year that you wait. So if you wait beyond 67, there's an 8% increase each year, and then it maxes out at age 70. So it's a big number. You want to consider everything before you make this decision. Health and longevity is certainly a factor. I think if you wait till age 67 as a full retirement age, the break-even age is somewhere in your late 70s. If you wait till age 70, the break-even age is typically in the early 80s. So you want to factor your personal health and your spouse's health if you are married, and those are all factors. Also, liquid assets. So if you retire at 65, but you want to wait till 70 to claim, you have to make sure you have enough assets to draw down for the next 5 years to get until that date. For many people, if they don't have enough money saved, it's going to be detrimental, and it's going to draw down too much of their liquid assets, not leaving them much money for the rest of their retirement. So you want to be careful with that. And that's where financial advisors can help. We can kind of help figure that out and help optimize your strategy for you, show you where to pull money from, and look at different what if scenarios. Spousal benefits and age differences. You want to see how much longer to your spouse files as well. What are the earnings histories for each spouse? If one spouse earned a lot less than the other spouse, the Social Security Administration will bump you up to at least 50% of what your spouse had made. But you do have to both file in order to get that 50% or that bump up to 50%. So It's a factor. Now, if one of you were to pass, then one of the Social Security incomes would go away, but the survivor spouse will get the higher of the two. So for spousal protection purposes, that's another reason to wait and get the higher payout. If someone had been married previously for 10 years or more and they did not remarry, then they're entitled to their ex-spouse's benefit off their earnings history. That's something, ex-spouse does not need to be contacted. They will not know. They're not impacted in any way by this, but it is all tracked by the Social Security Administration, and you would be entitled to that boost in income if it's applicable here. The other thing to consider is your risk tolerance on your own retirement assets. So will you be able to outperform that 2 to 3% historical average cost of living adjustment for Social Security? If someone's a very low risk investor, they may be better off waiting and deferring the Social Security payout so they can try to optimize that and get the higher payout in the future. Whereas if someone is a more aggressive investor and they feel like they can outpace and grow their assets faster than the Social Security COLA adjustment, and they might be better off taking it earlier and then preserving their own liquid assets and trying to grow those liquid assets on their own. And then the other thing is, what if you're doing, you're trying to take advantage of a couple of low income tax years to do Roth conversions, or maybe sell down a stock position. If someone retires at 65 and they're going to defer till 70, that's a 5-year gap there where they're going to have lower income. So that's a nice window there to take advantage of these things. But again, it all depends on what they have for liquid assets. Depends on what they're trying to do here. So all things to consider. Ultimately, you should consider working with a professional like myself. We'll be able to help explore these different factors and look at different what if scenarios. Figure out what's going to work best for you based on what you're trying to do, and we can look at, God forbid, what if one spouse, predeceases the other? What's that going to do to the strategy? What if you both pass early? What if you both live to 100? These are all things you want to consider. What if inflation is higher? What if your investments underperform? These are all things that you want to have a financial advisor. You can kind of bounce these ideas off them and try to dial in your strategy here. Ultimately, if you found this useful and you want to set up some time, email me, call me, message me on here, and I'm always happy to set up a quick call. We can always do some kind of ask me anything type session, and I'll answer as many questions as I can, and we'll see if we'd be a good fit or not. I appreciate you watching. Thank you.